Hello, welcome. This video is gonna seem really basic to a lot of people, but I hope for those beginners who are just getting into Google Sheets for the first time, this will be incredibly helpful. I'm gonna tell you what the structure of a sheet is, how to unlock that, and some really fun things I like to do with these three formulas: index, row, and column, and I'll get into them as quickly as I can. So, a sheet, whenever you start a new sheet, it has 26 columns and 1,000 rows. You can use row and column to find out which row or column the cell that you're in is on. This is incredibly useful because I've used it for basic math. I've used it to reference other pages. If you set up, say, a templated tab, you're doing accounting, and okay, I'm going to put the summary in the top A1. You can always reference that by using A1, but you can also reference it by going to index and row 1, column 1. Index is a fun formula that you can use to basically find any particular cell at any particular place that you know how many rows and how many cells it is. Here, I'll go into this. Actually, I'll show you here. So let's start. We're going to get to this in a second. So row. So if I do equals row, this is going to be 2 because it is on the second row. Here, 9 equals row is on the 9th row. You think okay, that seems silly, right? Because you're on the 9th row, you can see 2 here, you can see 2 here. Well, sometimes I want to do some really quick cubed math. I just want all the cubes, or I want to do some really quick number problem, but I know I want to iterate through numbers. I use this in business models all the time to show movement. Here, we'll go equals row, and we want to do times, I don't know, 10. Just want these numbers. So I go through that, copy paste here. Now I have the numbers 10 through 110. I can do times 45, put that all in there, do it times 88, 858, oops, do times 855. Now I have some pretty big damn numbers here. Can format them into different cells like this. This is really fun to be able to do some really quick math. And column is exactly the same way. You can go equals column, C-O-L, actually you can do just C-O-L, and it automatically goes into column, and B is 2. This is actually a really good way to find out what number these columns are, because who knows, what is the actual number of M, and what you have to remember that it is the 13th letter in the alphabet. So this is really good, especially if you have 100 columns. That's really cool. So now we know we can get the row, we can get the column, we can add these together. We can find out this is column, we can concat the row and the column. We can concatenate the row and the column here. And that's not 32, that's 3 and 2. So let's do this. So let's do equals concatenate. Let's do row, comma, row, comma. Put a space there, column, colon. There. And so now we have row and column. And there we now can look at this. I'll take this, scrape it around here. Here, now we know every single position. So we can say, okay, row 1, column 1, row 4, column 4 is here. If we want to get this row 4, column 4, how would we do it, right? We can do D4, right? We would remember, okay, D4. But sometimes we don't exactly remember the letter. We might say we want the 100th row, or we want a range from here to here, and we just might not remember. Or this kind of range, or whatever we're looking at, whatever data we're looking at, might move around. How do we figure out what's in the top left corner, or the second column in the first row? Well, we use index for that. We can do index, and we can say reference A1 to E11 Okay, that's the whole range, and we want 1 and 1. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get from that the contents of the cell over at, in this range, what's at row 1, column 1. It says row 1, column 1. We can change these numbers around 4, 4, 5 and get exactly row 4 or column 5. Well, we can also move this range, and we can say, okay, let's start at B2, and go to E11. Now, what's going to happen is if that column and row number is outside of the range, it'll tell you that. So let's do 2, 2, and it's going not from the top of the sheet, but actually the top corner of the range that we put in, which was B2. So it's going from B2, it's saying what's 2 across and 2 down. Well, it's row 3, column 3. This is really cool if you're moving stuff around, if you have different ranges and you want to move it around, but you can also take these numbers out and reference other cells. So I did that over here. So here we have index C to E, and we're referencing, well, the row is going to be whatever's in C16, whatever's in C17. And now we have our row and column outside, and we can move it around and see this is changing here. So in essence, index will get you the contents of the cell at any point that you know the row and the column. Row will get you the actual row the cell that you're in is on. Column will get you the number of the column, and it's incredibly useful because currently the columns are letters, and who knows what number is AX or BQ. We don't know, but you can know if you grab the column, use the column equation or formula inside of a cell. Bye.